beautiful. I moved to Ghana. It ain't like they peaceful people, bro. When I go to Africa, bro, it's such a relief that I don't feel like a nigga trying to kill me. I mean, there's different places where you can go, man. That shit is phenomenal, man. Some of the best land, some of the best views, some of the best weather, living that you'll ever experience, bro.
In this fall, I'm going to take my talents to South Beach.
We're taking our talents to Africa.
To Africa. To Ghana.
What? What? Oh my God, this is big news.
Open your eyes.
When I opened my eyes, I couldn't believe it. Africa, for real. I felt like I never really seen clouds before. I felt like the sky was a different color blue, the trees a different color green, and the people too. The people were beautiful. It felt right. It was harmony, like I wasn't far from home. It's like a whole new beginning.
They love our culture, but it ain't enough of us over there to kind of like train and show motherfuckers how to do it. So any of us who go over there and take whatever it is that we got here over there, the shit gonna win. Shit just gonna win, bro. Anything that done happened over here, we can redo that shit.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
Memoache, Memoaha, and Memoajio.
Wherever you are, welcome.
Memoa Kwawa.
Welcome to Season 3. Thanks for joining. This is our channel, Off the Wheel, where we invite you on our journey of getting off the hamster wheel from America and following us as we land in Ghana, get settled, and begin to explore. So if you're looking to move to Ghana, split time in Ghana, do business in Ghana, or invest in Ghana, or all of the above, I recommend that you go back to Season 1, Episode 1, and binge watch all of our episodes. Season 1 covers the process of first coming up with the idea of relocating and the preparation and the planning of making the move. Season 2 covers the landing, the touching down, and starting a new life. And this season, Season 3, begins at a place of really feeling at home, which allows us to report back to you in a very different way.
Absolutely. So thank you to all of our day ones who've been with us from the beginning.
The day ones. So we also want to say thank you, especially to you guys, the audience, our subscribers, and what you need from Ghana and what you need from us. We pay attention, we listen. And it's because of you that many of these projects that we are working on ever get started in the first place. We see a lot of expats fail here in Ghana because they come to Ghana with all the answers, preconceived notions of what they think Ghana needs. But we're going to continue to listen to you guys, you interested people, you very smart people. So thank you again.
Okay. So, but let's pause just for our segment so you can watch us try to learn Tree.
So this is where our American audience might learn a couple of new words. And this is where we get to amuse our Ghanaian followers where some of you, if not all of you, will make fun of us. It's okay.
Before we actually start our little, what we've learned since the last video, I just wanted to put out there that tree, which is spelled TWI, is not pronounced twee. So I find a lot of, people that come from America say, oh, do you know twee? Do you know twee? I'm like, no, it's not twee. It's actually pronounced tree because TW has the sound of a CH almost. So that's just the first thing that I wanted to put out there, that it's tree, not twee. So there you go.
Also, I haven't begun the official, proper way to learn the language, starting with the alphabet, going to small phrases. All of my learning is like in the streets of Ghana, surviving Ghana. So be easy, be easy. So my couple of words that I've learned is, my first word I learned was mate asie, mate. And it means, I understand, I get it. And I was very proud. It was the only word that I had learned. And we had a very important chief visit us here in our balcony. And we're talking about, doing business together, etc. He's a very important chief from the Abri area of Ghana. And he gave a very powerful closing statement of wanting to do business. And it was the only word that I had learned at the time, and it was the perfect word for me to say at that time, which was mate asie. And so I said that to him. I understand, and him and his entourage almost jumped off the balcony. They were so surprised. I was surprised. They were surprised. So I've learned mate. I've learned meyenko, which is let's go. Like in Spanish, it's like vámonos, vámonos, vámonos. And I've learned that because a lot of times when I'm in the cars, automobiles with my real estate colleagues, and they'll be talking to their Ghanaian plug, they'll say from the car, okay, let's go. So I was here, Mayenko, or the shorter version of Yanko. Mm-hmm. I've also learned, shout out to Bridget. I was talking with a friend, colleague, and she was saying something about one of the projects we're working on, and I kept saying, that's true, that's true. And I said, Bridget, how do you say it's true? And she said, Eyenokre. And I kept saying, and she kept saying, no, you're wrong. You're saying Eyenokre. And I'm saying Eyenokre. She's saying, no, you're saying it's not true. And so I had to learn that what's tough for us Americans is the difference with these tonal, from the back of the throat pronunciations. The difference was eye versus enye. One is it's true, the other is it's not true. To me, they sound the same. So I go through life going, I think I'm saying it's true. No, it's true. And people are thinking I'm saying, no, it's not true. And the only other thing I've learned is jai, which is stop it, which I use for the American version of relax yourself, chill, jai. So those are my 4 words from the streets of Ghana. And, eventually I'm going to learn the proper way with a tutor or on YouTube. But for now, I'm just learning in the streets. Those are my 4 words. What are your words?
Well, I have a bit more words. I mean, I started out with when he said, good morning.
You had official YouTube training, right?
I had official YouTube training. I took a few classes, not many. I wrote notes and things like that. So I started off well. I just didn't continue like I should have. But in the beginning, when he said good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, I said memoache, aha, and memoajo. And in Ghana here, it's very specific. Like up until I believe 12 o'clock, it's good morning. And then from 12 to 5 is afternoon. And then after 5, it's evening. So sometimes I'll say, memoaha, and they're like, oh, it's after 5, it's good evening. So they have 3 specific phrases as we do in the States for time, but they correct you when you say it like a minute past the time. So I've kind of tried to commit that one.
You're going to be tripping.
The memory.
It's not that serious.
Yeah.
Not that serious.
And also welcome. There's a general welcome Akwaba, but if you want to say we welcome you, it's Memawo Akwaba. So it's like we welcome you here. So that's why I kind of added that as well.
So, so I got 4 things. I'm working on more. You're welcome to all the amusement I'm giving my Ghanaian audiences laughing at me right now. You're welcome. But hope to add some more phrases, which really... The other interesting thing is, what I'm most proud about is once you start learning a phrase or a word and you start to recognize it from someone else saying it, it's really, you start to say, wow, okay, now I'm starting to feel a little more connected to Ghana and to the people when I'll just be sitting around and I hear someone go, I understand, or let's go. I was like, oh, I understand that. I hear that. So that's nice. So we'll learn more. We'll keep interjecting in this new segment of let's educate audiences in America and let's give some Ghanaians some amusement. So that's that for the moment. First off, I've learned that no matter how much we practice, most of us will always be amusing to Ghanaians because there are things that our mouths and our tongues will never say correctly. And Ghanaians will remind us every time after they laugh at me. And also, I know that there's things that you Ghanaians can't say either, and we don't laugh at you as much.
Well, just to kind of still piggyback on that and divert a little bit, it's big news for me. I mean, I came to Ghana and I learned how to swim. Hooray for me. I caught him by surprise one day when I came home with the video showing him that I was doing the breaststroke in the deep end. So that was a surprise to him. But I go back to Tree now. I just wanted to say about your Yanko, let's go. It's also the name of an Uber type service we use here in Ghana. It's called Yango, but they took the name from the Ghanaian word Yanko. So it's like, let's go. So that's kind of like where that name came from. And I just found that out recently. Yeah.
Okay. So before we get started, we want to remind you of a couple of things. Number one, please consider joining our membership, Off the Wheel. It's where we share information among like-minded people who want to bring capital together to be used in very good ways here in Ghana. We want to, give you information that's from the streets, on the ground, interpreted through my lens. So please consider joining at offthewheel.info. Next, if you have any housing needs, we have some new offerings for you. If you have any housing needs, whether it's condo purchases, apartment rentals, buying land and building on it, Airbnbs to stay in or to use as investment, please visit our website, GhanaHousingOptions.info. We have information, we have listings curated specifically for our Black American expat audience. And speaking of Airbnbs, take a look at what we have to offer for all of our travelers coming to Ghana. Take a look.
Traveling to Ghana? We got you covered. Off the Wheel is offering affordable Airbnbs and a do-it-yourself travel guide. Our apartment units are modern, comfortable, safe, and 100% as advertised. Did we say affordable? Why pay expensive hotel rates when you can get a more authentic experience for a better price? And we have even more savings for you. Once you've booked, we provide all the details needed to visit the must-see Ghana tourist attractions. We give you the cost per person, lunch estimates, travel costs, and a suggested tip, so that you can create your own DIY travel itinerary that fits your schedule and your budget. For those that want an all-inclusive travel package at a higher price point, we can pass you on to our travel partners. Whether you're traveling solo or in a group, we can service from 1 to 12 travelers. Enjoy on-premise amenities like tennis and racket sports, basketball, pool, and more. We even provide airport pickup and drop-off. Once you compare costs, you'll see that DIY traveling with our personal insight will allow you to enjoy Ghana for a reasonable cost. Who knows? With all the money you saved, you might donate to a local cause or invest in a local initiative project through our sister partner, Expat Impact. Hosted by two former New Yorkers from Brooklyn who jumped off the wheel and moved to Ghana, who'll be your on-premises attendants to support and guide you.
We can't wait to show you what life could be like off the wheel.
Looking forward to hosting you.
See you in Ghana. And finally, one of the biggest announcements we have to make today is our latest project, Monarch Village. This is the pilot location of a senior living retirement rental community. So for anyone looking to move to Ghana, do know that you now have another option to consider. You don't have to buy. So maybe you don't want to exhaust all of your savings. Maybe you don't have savings to exhaust. So for all of those receiving a pension or a Social Security check, this could be the perfect solution for you. So visit the website monarchvillage.live for more information.
Retirement living. Are you ready to retire from America? Ready to jump off of the wheel? Have you ever thought about retiring in Ghana? Our senior living community is perfect for you. Monarch Village, located in Ghana. Some expats prefer to buy land, but then take years to build a home, only to deal with budget overruns, delays, shady contractors, and end up living alone and having to hire a full-time staff for assistance. Why not choose a move-in ready, fully supported community of compatible neighbors? Monarch Village. These rental units are spacious, equipped with a mini kitchen, study, and senior-friendly bathrooms. It's senior living that's modern, fully supported, fully staffed, shopping supported, doctors on demand, community game nights, and more. Monarch Village, located in Ghana. Coming this year. There are only 35 units left to rent. Please reserve your rental now.
And on the flip side, we invite anyone who wants to invest in this project. It's an SEC Reg CF capital raise. You can find more information on the URL below here, where you can pledge your financial interest and join our family to bring this project to fruition. Please consider deploying your capital to join us in what we expect to be a great project, where you can enjoy appealing returns on your investment.
We did get a lot of followers, a lot of incoming correspondence, emails, Zoom meetings from followers and general public asking a lot of questions about moving here. So in this episode, we'll cover and we'll discuss three major areas to give thought and to really consider before you come to Ghana. They will speak about each subject from an analytical point of view, and I will of course share my own personal experiences so that you can kind of see both sides of things. Now there are many more topics to consider and more questions to answer, but if you don't give these three a lot of thought, chances are you'll run into trouble.
So, number one, housing. Housing is probably the most important topic to consider. Where would you live? How will you live? The answer to those two questions is where preference meets finances, where what you want and desire meets what your pockets can afford. There are people who want to buy condo units like we did. There are people who want to buy already built homes. There are people who want to buy their own land and build their own design on their own land. There are people who want to rent, to either rent a home or an apartment or to rent in a retirement community. Um, and again, just to remind you, for housing options to consider, visit our website, GhanaHousingOptions.info. We're going to be doing a much more in-depth video on the differences of why some people come here to Ghana and choose to buy a condo, to rent, to buy land, because we want to give you a 360 many perspective, angled opinions on the matter. But I think what surprises a lot of Black Americans look to move here are the variables that determine housing prices. Prices to purchase, prices to rent. It's hard for Black Americans to come to a foreign land and even know which locations to consider. What are the vibes of these different neighborhoods? And the downside is so big around this topic is because landlords make you pay an entire year's rent up front, sometimes 2 years. So you will be pissed off if you peel money off for a whole year's rent and to feel like you've made a premature decision without enough time. Imagine coming to New York and not having intimate knowledge on what are the dangerous neighborhoods, the noisy neighborhoods, etc., the flood zones. So it's important to remember that there's no mortgage industry here for Black Americans. There is a newly formed industry for Ghanaian citizens living abroad who can show income. They get mortgages, but nothing for us. So because there's no mortgage industry, you can only secure and buy what you can afford. So in the end, you need to get assistance or you need to research greatly which location, neighborhood selection that you'll consider. You need to determine what you can really afford to buy and rent, understand if you're overpaying or not, sit down with your financial advisor to get some objective advice, and you need to understand the compromises you'll be making. Compromises you don't make in America, but some of those compromises are roads, proximity to highway, proximity to shopping, water, electricity, all these things we take for granted in the States. Now, we see a lot of expats coming here all the time, not having a plan and trying to figure it out. We recommend figuring it out back in the States before you get here.
I mean, as most of you know, moving to Ghana was kind of my idea. My interest in the continent was really sparked by a connection that I had always felt. But also, Ghana was also getting a lot of buzz. So as most of you can tell, my husband is quite meticulous. Me, I can be, but not in every single situation. So when we decided to take our first trip here and to scope it out, to possibly relocate, his request was that we weren't, going as tourists. We've said this many times before, but as people seriously thinking about relocating, that was my cue to look for housing. So imagine looking for housing on your first trip and not knowing anything about the roads, what is nearby as far as shopping, the traffic patterns, or congested areas. All of these things I had to try to research the best that I could. So being a native of Guyana, which is similar to Ghana, I knew that what I didn't want. So my non-negotiables were really clear. Backup electricity and water, stable internet and air conditioning. An apartment was my preference because we grew to love the apartment life we had. And I wanted some amenities that, would kind of keep me active as well. So it was a tall order, but with months of research, talking with agents on the phone, looking at properties on YouTube, we found about 3 places that fit our budget and also our non-negotiables. So when we were willing to, we knew what we were willing to deal with and what we could actually live without. We had to be happy with the choices that we were going to make. So even when we moved and we bought our place, we visited other housing options. And each time we went to visit somewhere else and we came back home, were really relieved and actually happy about the choice of places that we picked.
So the second area that you need to really evaluate is income. For the most part, our audience are pensioners, retirees, or people in age close enough to getting those checks. So there's already income to allocate. If you don't have the benefit of a stable check coming in each month, it's important for you to figure out how the heck you're going to make money to live here in Ghana. Some come with enough savings to last them the few years left until they start getting that check. We are not of retiree age, and so even in our budget, we had to at least have an understanding of from what we have saved to what other incomes we have in from businesses until the time we start taking the retirement check. Is that a feasible path for survival? Because what's the percent of people coming here to Ghana would you say are already retired versus people like us?
Oh.
If you had to guess.
I would say 70.
I would say 70 or 80% of the people coming to Ghana are older people, already retired, but there are more people like us coming and even younger than us who are trying to figure out, and they're far away from getting a check.
Right.
15, 20, 25 years away from getting a check. They have to really figure something out because it's not so easy to bring remote job income here. It's not that easy. Remote work, I would speculate to say that the opportunities are shrinking. During COVID, there was a lot of remote work opportunities, but now the bosses are like, everyone has to get back to the office, fewer remote work opportunities, so you can't count on that. We do run into a couple of people who do have remote work opportunities, but I don't think you can count on it like you did before. Yeah. And so if you're 35 or 45, 20 years from retirement, that's probably the toughest demographic to figure something out. If you're like 55 and older, you're almost at retirement. So most people coming here are getting the check already. They got no problem. It's just a matter of budgeting. But if you're probably, I would say if you're more than 3 to 5 years away from retirement, you really have some soul searching to do as remote opportunities dwindle. There are no jobs in Ghana for you to get. Even if you could get a job here in Ghana, you wouldn't like the salary that you're getting for the work that you do as you compare it back to what you used to do. Yeah. So yeah, something very serious to consider. Some are already getting a retirement check or a pension check. Others won't be getting that check for some time, so they have to have a lot of money saved up already, or they have to figure out how to generate income. We have had quite a few guests who bring their remote work here, but that also comes with its own set of challenges, from the time zone difference, which can present extra wear and tear on your body and your sleep patterns, to the sketchy internet service here, which can put your remote job at risk. I also see a new wave of expats who have the luxury of doing contract work for a couple of months at a time back in the States, then to bring that money back to Ghana for the remainder of the year. We do see a lot of Americans come here and start businesses, but the lesson to take away is that the younger you are, let's say the closer you are to 30 than 60, you will have to figure out an income stream until those checks start rolling in. If you're under 45 then you should have savings stacked up to start a business for monthly income. If you're between 40 and 60, you need to have a game plan until those checks start coming in. And if you're getting checks already, congrats, but you need to prepare a proper budget and fit into the lifestyle that would allow you to stay here and prosper without stress or burden.
So, I mean, for me, not making an income after being in pharmacy for 27 years and being used to getting that paycheck every 2 weeks, it took some getting used to. I'm not close to, obviously, age of retirement. So, for Social Security, I had no immediate plans to work. And I just decided I needed to live maybe a little bit more budgeted lifestyle. So it took me a few months, but I really started to, for example, just embrace an outdoor market, to get your vegetables and your produce deals. Although going to the market takes more time, the savings are amazing. If you have a remote job, and making US dollars, I mean, I would definitely still recommend some budgeting of that income because, as Dale said, sometimes it's not guaranteed all the time. So for those unforeseen expenses, or if you're living, in an expat area, you're definitely going to pay more for imports. I remember back in Brooklyn, we would probably eat out or order takeout or whatever at least twice a week. Plus, we had our specialty gourmet bagels on Saturday and Sunday. So I would say our budget just from eating out alone in Brooklyn was about $120 per week, just eating out, like takeout stuff. Less? More? I never paid.
Sometimes, yeah. You're welcome. To all you guys out there. Sometimes our Colombian food was $120 for the one order.
Really? Oh, okay.
How much do you think sushi was?
Oh, that was like $50.
Sushi was $50?
Yes, $50 if we ordered. No? Thank you. But my point is that, you have to change a lot of things in your lifestyle here, because I'm not expecting that every 2-week paycheck to come in all the time. You're going to budget a little bit differently, actually a lot differently. So for me, eating out has really gone down, which I'm not upset about because, number one, cooking at home is just fine. The options when you take out are, make you gain weight, you get lethargic. So there's benefits to actually going to the market, cooking your things at home, which I actually enjoy doing. And also, the other thing is the options are definitely here. It's just that you have to seek them out. I go to my regular spots for certain things. I try to avoid the supermarket if I can go to the market. And it's just a different way of living, and you have to embrace the choice that you make and not try to always bring the US or the Western world over here because it's not going to work. Not for your budget, and I don't think for your lifestyle either.
It's interesting that you say that because now I'm going to dissect it in a way I've never had before. So when we were in the States, we were both working like dogs, and we were both making good money. The price to make good money is stress, maybe not positive things for your health. You heard about me talk about my weight, my sleeping. Dacia would have many a sleepless night dealing with the stress of her work and her responsibilities. And so a lot of times with your big salary, you would try to mitigate all the BS in your life with eating out, going to places, because otherwise you go crazy. What I've seen happen is people come over, they don't bring the income, but they bring all of their activities and their eating habits, and they go broke. You can't have it all. The lifestyle that you used to have was that because you had that income. Now that you're over here, we've seen people go into the Soho of Ghana, go into the Central Park, west, east of Ghana, go into the village of Ghana, go into the meatpacking district of Ghana.
You're talking to only New Yorkers right now.
To New Yorkers and people who visited, tri-state people. But my California people know about those spots. My Georgia people, my DC people know about those spots that you go to. Overpriced, all the beautiful people. But it's a good experience. It's good food. But you can't come here with severely reduced income and expect to maintain that same lifestyle. Some people can't let go of that lifestyle, and it gets to be a problem. And so for us, I think it was relatively easy, right?
No, it was relatively easy, mainly because I enjoy cooking and I enjoy creating new things. So it was a little bit easier for us, or rather for me, to prepare like the meals here. So you will find so many things that you enjoy more than going out, and things that can make you happy versus like a big expensive dinner. Now, mind you, I do indulge once in a while. I'll go into the Soho of Ghana, and there are places like that, and just have an amazing experience. And then I'm good for like another month or two, because sometimes
So
you
it's
do
not
need that.
it's not every week. It's like
Oh
every
no.
2 months. Is that still okay? Every month and a half?
Yeah, I would say every month I'm
Okay.
good. And it's not anything over the top. It's just really simple, but it gives you kind of like a familiarity.
Excuse you.
What?
That's subjective. It's not anything over the top. What you think is not over the top, and you're spending money on, other people might disagree.
This is true.
Yes.
But anyway, I digress.
So the third thing is health. Working with my wife on her health tech initiative back in the States, back in the days, I was very familiar with chronic disease ailments that plague our people. Almost all of our Black people in the States have some combination of obesity, prediabetes, diabetes, high blood pressure. Um, Almost all of our people have at least one of these conditions. Many of our people have two of these conditions. Too many have three of these conditions. And too few have none of them. So we are bringing our health problems to Ghana. And we have to make sure that we can get access to the same treatments. Now, truth be told, if you go back and watch our YouTube episode entitled Ghana May Have Saved My Life, you'll see that us coming to Ghana with the better weather, no evil food industry, less stress, it was so good for our health that you, like a lot of people, might not need the medications. This is not medical advice, but I'm just saying most of the medications that we're on in the States are because we're in the States. I was in the States eating pizza, eating bagels, eating pasta, eating toast. I was 22 pounds heavier. I was about to be on high blood pressure medication. I was about to order a CPAP machine. I felt a little heavy, and here, that's not the case. And we hear these anecdotes from visitors, from Airbnb guests all the time. People who don't have YouTube channels or don't have ways to announce their own personal experiences, they tell us, I can't believe that happened to you. I was on this medication and I'm here and I'm not. The weather made me get better this way. The food made me get better this way. Let's not talk about the freshly made juices here versus all of the high fructose, the high processed fruit juices back in the States. And so, but all of that is to say that as you transition from America to Ghana, even though you might be relieved of the burden of some of those medications, in the beginning, you still have to make sure that you can get to your proper medications. So health is a big thing that you have to consider.
I mean, health is unpredictable. So although you may be well today, tomorrow something could change. If you have a serious health condition and on maybe a variety of medications, then it's important that when you visit, you come here with a list of your medications. Visit a few different pharmacies and find out the prices of what you take. Many times the medications are similar but not exact. So it's important to know that because it could be as simple as a dosage change to get the equivalent effect. So it may not be that they don't have it, you just may have to speak to a doctor to have it changed a little bit. Many times the medications are similar but not exact. So it's important to know that because it could be as simple as a dosage change to get an equivalent effect. It's important to note that there is no emergency services here in Ghana. So to get to the hospital, you have to get there on your own for the most part. Selecting housing near a hospital would be recommended if your health needs are many. There are also many varieties of clinics that are able to service your needs. But cash rules here in Ghana. Once you can pay, you're fine. So some recent events with a friend here in Ghana where her mother had to have a double mastectomy and also recently suffered a fall that caused a serious bacterial infection. Since she was a U.S. citizen, she returned to the U.S. for healthcare, but was told that she wasn't eligible for assistance. She returned here to Ghana, found a cancer center, and was able to get service and was able to get the mastectomy done, but the cost was about $20,000 US. So please check out her channel and take a look at her experience and support if you can. I say all of this to say, to make clear, please have a small savings set aside for medical emergencies. Have you had any serious medical condition in the past year that landed you in a hospital? Do you need multiple specialists to coordinate your care? Is your diabetes managed well with oral medications? Are you on insulin? These are the questions that you need to consider before moving here. I mean, I've only had to use healthcare here for, I believe it was like a chipped tooth last year. I had to have local anesthesia to put the cap on. It went well. I mean, there were admittedly some service shortcomings, but the job was done. And the tooth is still going strong. So I also went to a local herbalist. I was suffering terribly with hot flashes and night sweats. Suffering hot flashes every 60 to 90 minutes. I visited this herbalist. She gave me a tea and a tincture to take twice a day. And she said it would take like 3 to 6 months for my hormones to like regulate. I am on month 4. Now I get about 2 hot flashes a day and maybe 1 overnight and 1 in the early morning. So come here with an open mind of traditional medicine, yes, and of natural remedies as well. Also, generally, as far as health is concerned, don't come here with the same food habits. So not only will you not have the money, but your health status will remain the same. The food here in Ghana is actually medicine.
So while we want you to move to Ghana, while we encourage you to make the move, we want it to be your final move. We want your move to be well thought out, well planned, well prepared for. We want you to feel great about your decision. We want you to stay. So make sure you give lots of thought to these 3 areas of survival. There are more, but these are the 3 main areas. And we're here for you if you need any assistance. With me and my financial background, I can help you budget out the move. We have the infrastructure for you with our network of knowledge and our Airbnbs here to host you. Dacia, being a healthcare provider, will be providing some consultation or at least a conversation to help you ask the right health questions for yourself. We have the housing options for you to consider with our GhanaHousingOptions.info site. We have shipping services for you to get all of your stuff from America to here. Whatever you need, we got.
All right. So is that it for the episode?
I think that's it.
That's it for the episode. So thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel, to like this video, and to look out for our next video. So hit the notification bell.
And as we always say, or as Dacia says, I always say, if you're ever in Ghana Please stop by and have a club or Corona. Come sit down with us on our balcony amongst our growing jungle of plants. Let's talk about the future here in Ghana. Let's talk about collaborations. Let's talk about making Ghana the best it can be. Let's pour out a little liquor to the life we left behind, wherever behind is. Let's talk about the investments we could be making together. So, thanks for watching, and see you soon.
May huno watch na.
And who is John Go?
You're grooving, Africa. You're grooving, Africa. The music, Africa. You're moving, Africa. You wear clothes, Africa. You wear clothes, Africa. You're dancing, Africa. You're dancing, Africa. You're prancing, Africa. You're prancing, Africa. Romancing, Africa. You're going, Africa. You're going, Africa.